Hello, tribe. Welcome. I got some new tarot cards. The card of the day is the Six of Wands. Let's read the book to see how we should go about our day today. Six has long been regarded as a particularly lucky number. Maybe six is your lucky number? With great balance and harmony. This is partly due to the qualities of the cube, a six-sided figure that has great stability whichever way up it appears. So you always land on your feet, basically. The cube also shows an equal face for all four directions, plus a face pointing towards the heavens, the so-called fifth or etheric dimension. From the cube, we obtain the die, or the dice, a six-sided figure used in games of chance since the time of Babylonians, and possibly much earlier. Each side of the die is numbered, with the six the highest and therefore the most fortuitous of the numbers. So you likely feel like the odds keep turning in your favor. Just so we can learn a new thing, I'm going to read the whole book. It talks about all the sixes, even though the card is the Six of Wands. Let's just talk about all of them. In the minor arcana, the Six of Cups is usually regarded as the most significant, probably because the round space at the top of the cup resembles the round dots or depressions used to mark the numbers on the die. The Six of Cups therefore symbolizes good fortune, and more importantly, also stands for an open, optimistic, and joyful approach to life. Next in significance is the Six of Pentacles, which carries something of the same meaning through a more capricious nature, more subject to extreme highs and lows, as represented by the card, the upward and downward pointing triangles in the center. That's the star of the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Wands and the Six of Swords are thought to symbolize good fortune in more practical areas, creative endeavors for wands, and rational and scientific fields for swords. However, here again, the emphasis is more upon our attitude towards these experiences than upon what happens in the outside world. As the card suggests, scientific experiments can lead to disappointment, a fallen sword, as well as to success, a soaring sword. How do you react to success and failure, to achievements and setbacks? Are you motivated by the inner forces or by the reactions of others? So if you're connecting to the Six of Cups, you've been keeping your cup open to receive abundance from the universe, letting the universe and God pour into you. If you're connecting to the Six of Pentacles, you could be opening that masculine and feminine within you, that upward pointing triangle and the downward pointing triangle. This says it could cause a lot of highs and lows. So maybe you've been jumping through dual natures and you're going to start bringing that into a place of oneness between the different sides of yourself. You can be a whole being, even with many different aspects of you. So if you're connecting to the Six of Wands and the Six of Swords, you're being more practical about your creativity, putting it through the whole scientific method or whatever it may be, going through trial and error to find the greatest outcome. You have to fail a few times to find answers. You got to fail without expectation to find the highest answer, the solution. So you've likely let a lot of ideas fall away because you've tested them. And the things that have proven themselves to be true, they are soaring forward, while the things that have failed are falling away. And that's not a reflection of you. You're just the scientist. You're just the creative. If the experiment fails or succeeds, that's just life. You're willing to accept failure to find the highest answer, Spirit says. So you're viewing this as all part of the process, right? And you're not letting the failures destroy your motivation. And for those people in between dimensions of 6, 7, there's something for you in here too. It says, despite 6 being a number of balance, it can come to mean confusion when it appears next to a 7 in a reading. This indicates that when we overreach ourselves, trying to go beyond the 6, that is the highest point on the cube, we risk becoming stranded between the 6 and the 7. I'm going to interpret that as some of you have been bigger than the program. You can't be contained. You're in a higher dimension than human consciousness, and people might think you're kind of out of the box for thinking that way, and you may feel a little misunderstood in your elevation, but I don't think you're scared to take the step from 6 to 7. I was having a vision last night. Have you ever heard of the allegory of Plato's cave? Basically, there's people who would rather live in blindness and ignorance where they feel comfortable than ever face, the horrors of the real world outside of their cave. And most people would choose to stay ignorant than have to suffer facing reality. But some of you are like charging forward. You're not afraid to come out of the cave. You're not afraid to be challenged of what makes you comfortable. And that makes you exist in a higher dimension than most people. You're not afraid of the world. When I was in college, I was taking a psychology class. I think it was a philosophy class. And the teacher asked everyone if they would stay in the cave or if they would come out of the cave. And I was probably the only person in that whole classroom who said, I would like to come out of the cave, I want to face the world as it is. And everyone else said they wouldn't do that. And I never understood it. And I was thinking about it last night. I was like, maybe they're onto something. Maybe they're smart to just live within the reality that fits them and not always try to jump into something greater. Maybe they're smart in that way. Maybe they're good at accepting reality and blending into reality as it is. And maybe I'm not. But I thought about it recently. I was like, I've been hiding in the cave these days, wanting to live in my own bubble. And I got to go out there, as uncomfortable as it is. I got to get out of this bubble and challenge myself to integrate with the bigger world, just like I always have. I don't want to be one of those sheepish people who are scared like everyone else was. But maybe they have some kind of human wisdom I don't see by choosing to stay in that cave. Maybe some of us make life harder than it has to be by constantly challenging the norms. Well, I'll have to meditate on this whole cube analogy more, but I think that was a good card of the day, and we will talk in another video. Take care, everyone.